Chapter 23 of Exodus. Justice for all. You shall not circulate a false report. Do not put your hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness. You shall not follow a crowd to do evil, nor you testify in a dispute so it is to turn aside after many to pervert justice. Verse 3. You shall not show partiality to a poor man in his dispute. Verse 4. If you meet your enemy's ox or his donkey going astray, you shall surely bring it back to him again. Verse 5. If you see the donkey of one who hates you lying under its burden, and you would refrain from helping it, you shall surely help him with it. You shall not pervert the judgment of your poor in his dispute. Keep yourself far from a false matter. Do not kill the innocent and righteous, for I will justify the wicked. And you shall take no bribe, for a bribe blinds the discerning and perverts the words of the righteous. Verse 9. Also you shall not oppress a stranger, for you know the heart of a stranger, because you were strangers in the land of Egypt. Verse 10. The law of Sabbath. 6 years you shall sow your land and gather its produce, but the 7th year you shall let it rest and lie fallow, that the poor of your people may eat, and that they leave the beasts of the field may eat in like manner. You shall do with your vineyard and your olive grove. Verse 12. 6 days you shall do your work, and on the 7th day you shall rest, that your ox and your donkey may rest, and the son of your maidservant and the stranger may be refreshed. Verse 13. And in all that I have said to you, be circumspect, and make no mention of the name of other gods, small g, nor let it be heard from your mouth. Verse 14. 3 annual feasts. 3 times you shall keep a feast to me in the year. You shall keep the feast of unleavened bread. You shall eat unleavened bread 7 days, as I command you, at the time appointed in the month of Abib, for in it you came of Egypt. None shall appear before me empty. Verse 16. And the feast of harvest, the first fruits of your labors, which you have sown in the field, and for the feast of ingathering, which is at the end of the year, when you have gathered in the fruits of your labors from the field. Verse 17. 3 times in the year all your males shall appear before the Lord God. Verse 18. You shall not offer the blood of my sacrifice with the leavened bread, nor shall the fat of the sacrifice remain until morning. Your land you shall, the first of the first fruits of your land you shall bring into the house of the Lord your God. You shall not boil a young goat in its mother's milk. Verse 20. The angel and the promises. Behold, I send an angel before you to keep you in the way and to bring you into the place which I have prepared. Verse 21. Beware of him and obey his voice. Do not provoke him, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. Verse 22. But if you indeed obey his voice and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy to your enemies and an adversary to your adversaries. Verse 23. For my angel will go before you and bring you into the Amorites and the Hittites and the Hivites, the Perizzites and the Canaanites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, and I will cut them off. Verse 24. You shall not bow down to their gods, small g, nor serve them, nor do according to their works, but you shall utterly overthrow them and completely break down their sacred pillars. So you shall serve the Lord your God, and he will bless your bread and your water, and I will take sickness away from the midst of you. No one shall suffer miscarriage nor barren in the land. I will fulfill the number of your days. Verse 27, I will send my fear before you. I will cause confusion among all the people whom you come, and I will make all your enemies turn their backs to you. Verse 28, and I will send hornets before you, which shall drive out the Hivites, the Canaanites, the Hittites, and from before you. Verse 29, I will not drive them out from before you in 1 year, lest the land become desolate and the beasts of the field become too numerous for you. Little by little I will drive them out from before you until you have increased and inherit the land. Verse 31, and I will set your bounds from the Red Sea to the Sea of the Philistines, and from the desert to the river, for I will deliver the inhabitants of the land into your hand, and you shall drive them out before you. Verse 32, you shall make no covenant with them, nor with their gods, small g. Then they shall dwell in your land, lest they make you sin against me, for if you serve their gods, small g, it will surely be a snare to you. And that is the end of chapter 23. Now, chapter 24. Israel affirms the covenant. Now he said to Moses, come up to the Lord, you and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel, and worship from afar. And Moses alone shall come near the Lord, but they shall not come near, nor shall the people go up with him. So Moses came and told the people all the words that the Lord and all the judgments, and all the people answered with one voice and said, all the words which the Lord has said, we will do. Verse 4, and Moses wrote all the words of the Lord, and he rose early in the morning and built an altar at the foot of the mountain, and 12 pillars according to the 12 tribes of Israel. Then he sent young men of the children of Israel, who offered burnt offerings and sacrificed peace offerings of oxen to the Lord. And Moses took half of the blood and put it in the basins, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. Then he took the book of the covenant, read in the hearing of the people, and they said, all that the Lord has said we will do, and be obedient. Verse 8, and Moses took the blood, sprinkled it on the people, and said, behold, the blood of the covenant which the Lord has made with you, according to all these words. Verse 9, on the mountain with God. Then Moses went up, and also Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, and 70 of the elders, and they saw that the God is the God of Israel, and there was under his feet, there was a paved work of sapphire stone, and it was like the very heavens in a clarity. But in the nobles of the children of Israel, he did not lay his hands. So they saw God, and they ate and drank. Verse 21, verse 12, then the Lord said to Moses, come up to me on the mountain, be there, and I will give you tablets of stone, and the law and the commandments which I have written, that you may teach them. So Moses arose with his assistant Joshua, and Moses went up to the mountain of God. Verse 14, and he said to the elders, wait here for us until we come back to indeed Aaron and Hur are with you, and if any man has a difficulty, let him go to them. Then Moses went up into the mountain, and a cloud covered the mountain. Now the glory of the Lord rested on Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it 6 days. And on the 7th day he called Moses out of the midst of the cloud. The sight of the glory of the Lord was like a consuming fire on top of the mountain in the eyes of the children of Israel. So Moses went into the midst of the clouds and went up into the mountain, and Moses was on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. End of chapter 24. Chapter 25 of Exodus. Offerings for the sanctuary. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel that they bring me an offering from everyone who gives it willingly with his heart, and you shall take my offering. And this is the offering which you shall take from them: gold, silver, and bronze, blue and purple and scarlet yarn, fine linen thread and goat hair, ram skins, dried red badger skins, and acra wood. Verse 6. Oil for the light, and the spices for the anointing oil, and for the sweet incense. Verse 7. Onyx stones, and stones to be set in the ephod in the breastplate. And let them make me a sanctuary, that I may dwell among them, according to all that I show you, that is in the pattern of the tabernacle, and the pattern of all the furnishings, just so you shall make it. Verse 10. The ark of the testimony. And they shall make an ark of acra wood. 2.5 cubits shall be its length, and 1.5 cubits its width, and 1.5 cubits its height. And you shall overlay it with pure gold inside and out. You shall overlay it, and you shall make on it a molding of gold all around. Verse 12. You shall cast 4 rings of gold for it, and put them in the 4 corners. 2 rings shall be on one side, and 2 rings on the other side. And you shall make poles of acra wood, and overlay them with gold. You shall put the poles into the rings on the side of the ark, and the ark, that the ark may be carried by them. The poles shall be in the rings of the ark, and they shall not be taken from it. Verse 16. And you shall put into the ark the testimony which I will give you. Verse 17. You shall make a mercy seat of pure gold. 2.5 cubits shall be its length, and 1.5 cubits its width. And you shall make 2 cherubims of gold of hammered work. You shall make them at the 2 ends of the mercy seat. Make 1 cherubim at one end, and the other cherubim at the other end. And you shall make the cherubim at the 2 ends of it, and one piece with the mercy seat. And the cherubim shall stretch out their wings above, covering the mercy seat with their wings, and they shall face one another. The faces of the cherubim shall be towards the mercy seat. Verse 21. You shall put the mercy seat on top of the ark. In the ark you shall put the testimony that I will give you. And there I will meet with you, and I will speak with you, and I will speak with you from above the mercy seat, from between the 2 cherubim which are on the ark of the testimony, and in the things which I will give to you in the commandment to the children of Israel. Verse 23. The table for the showbread. You shall make a table of acra wood, and 2 cubits shall be its length, 1 cubit its width, and 1.5 cubits its height. And you shall overlay it with pure gold, and make a molding of gold all around. You shall make it for a frame of handbreadth all around, And you shall make a gold molding for the frame all around. And you shall make for it 4 rings of gold. Put the rings on the 4 corners that are at its 4 legs. The rings shall be close to the frame as a holder for its poles to bear the table. And you shall make the poles of Akara wood and overlay them with gold, that the table may be carried with them. You shall make its dishes, its pans, its pitchers, its bowls for pouring. You shall make them of pure gold. And you shall set the showbread on the table before me. Verse 31. The gold lampstand. You shall also make a lampstand of pure gold. The lampstand shall be of hammered work. Its shaft, its branches, its bowls, its ornamental knobs and flowers shall be of one piece. And the 6 branches shall come out of its side, 3 branches of the lampstand of the one side, and 3 branches of the lampstand out of the other side. 3 bowls shall be made like an almond blossom on one branch, with an ornamental knob and a flower, and 3 bowls made like almond blossoms on the other branch, which is an ornamental knob and a flower, and for the 6 branches that come out of the lampstand. On the lampstand itself 4 bowls shall be made like an almond blossom, each with its own ornamental knob and flowers. And there shall be a knob under the first 2 branches of the same, a knob under the second, and 2 branches, and the knob under the third 2 branches of the same, according to the 6 branches that extend from the lampstand. Verse 36. Their knobs and their branches shall be of one piece. All of it shall be one hammered piece of pure gold. You shall make 7 lampstands for it, and they shall arrange its lamps so that they give light in front of it. And its wicks, trimmers, and their trays shall be of pure gold. It shall be made of a talent of pure gold with all these utensils, and see to it that you make them according to the pattern which was shown to you on the mountain. And end of chapter 25. Well, we saw an awful lot happening here in chapter 23, chapter 24, the offerings, and so forth and so on, and then the Ark of the Testimony, which is the Ark of the Covenant. It sure would be very nice to see that thing in reality with all of its pure gold. It must have been very beautiful and very interesting indeed.